This is VOA News. In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. Russian forces conducted an air raid on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, Friday as a delegation of African leaders arrived in the city on a peace mission. Correspondent Anna Chernokova, reporting from Kyiv, told VOA's Flashpoint Ukraine program the details.
It started around 11 o'clock local time. There were explosions heard in the city of Kyiv. Even more explosions were heard at the outskirts of the capital. Ukrainian Air Force confirmed that it was not just a cruise missiles attack, but it was also a ballistic attack. In total, 6 ballistic King Jao missiles were destroyed today in the sky of the city of Kyiv and Kyiv region, in addition to another 6 cruise missiles, caliber cruise missiles, and 2 drones.
NATO defense ministers from about 50 nations met at NATO headquarters for a second day Friday to discuss Kyiv's current needs following the start of its latest counteroffensive. VOA Pentagon correspondent Carla Babb is in Brussels and gave VOA's Flashpoint Ukraine program an update that included a debate over Ukraine's bid to join the military alliance.
Officials say leaders are going to be weighing a proposal from NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg that would let Ukraine forego a formal candidacy process that has been required by some nations to join. This formal process is called MAP. It stands for Membership Action Plan, and it's a plan that Sweden and Finland were not forced to complete. As you know, Finland is now the 31st member of NATO, and Sweden is still waiting on Hungary and Turkey to approve their application. Many nations, especially Eastern European nations, for obvious reasons, feel that the Ukrainians should have an easier ascension or an easier pathway.
This is VOA News. NATO leaders meeting in Brussels also discussed Friday taking measures to protect undersea pipelines and cables as concern mounts over possible Russian sabotage. Associated Press correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
Around 100 cable-cutting incidents are reported every year around the world, and it's often hard to tell whether they are deliberate or not. NATO's Secretary-General, Jens Stoltenberg, has told reporters there's no way NATO can have a presence along the thousands of miles of cables.
We can be better at collecting information, intelligence, sharing information, connecting the dots, because also in the private sector there's a lot of information, and actually there's a lot of ongoing monitoring of traffic at sea.
Rather than trying to watch it all, the new centre and NATO allies will focus on high-risk areas. For example, pipelines in shallow waters that can easily be reached by divers are considered very vulnerable. NATO has been spurred into action after an apparent attack on 2 Baltic Sea gas pipelines in September. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is headed to China in a matter of hours for meetings with top Chinese officials at a time when U.S.-China relations are at a low ebb. Speaking to reporters in Washington Friday, Blinken talked about the importance of keeping the lines of communication open between the two nations and his goals for the trip.
The trip has 3 objectives. First, to establish open and empowered communications so that our two countries responsibly manage our relationship. Second, to advance U.S. interests and values and those we share with allies and partners around the world, including speaking directly and candidly about our very real concerns on a range of issues. And third, to explore the potential for cooperation on transnational challenges, where our countries' interests intersect and the rest of the world expects us to cooperate.
A busload of seniors headed to a casino involved in a deadly highway crash in Canada. AP correspondent Jennifer King reports.
Police in Manitoba, Canada deployed every available resource to a horrific 2-vehicle crash near Carberry Thursday morning. RCMP Assistant Commissioner Rob Hill.
15 people have been confirmed deceased as a result of this collision.
Manitoba Royal Canadian Mounted Police Superintendent Rob Lawson is with Major Crime Services.
The bus had already crossed the westbound lanes of Highway 1 and was crossing the eastbound lanes when it was struck by the semi.
Police say a support center has opened in Dauphin to help the victims' families. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeted his condolences and thoughts for the injured. Audio courtesy TMX and CTV. I'm Jennifer King.
For additional stories 24 hours a day, go to our website, voanews.com. In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. This is VOA News.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.